Well, hello again. This is another night. We're going to do another story. But this is not like last night's. This is more of a... consider it a miracle story in my eyes. Let's just say that. All right. This happened July...
Tell them why you're telling the story.
Well, I'm telling most of the story because I remember more about it than my wife does. It happened to her, not me. So, to get it started off, it was July 1st, 2006. It was a pretty good while back. Well, she was working, and she was in nursing at the time. And she worked a 12-hour shift, and she worked a graveyard shift. So she went in at night, came home in the morning. She was on her way to see one of her relatives, because she hasn't seen him in a while. She figured she'd just go, well, I think it was babysit?
Mm-hmm.
Babysit.
Yeah, I was supposed to go babysit.
Babysit. Okay, and everything was going well, I guess, until that point. Okay, well, somehow along the way, as she was driving, the reports from sources they may have come up with or found out that she might have dozed off, tried to correct herself, and when it happened, she flipped her vehicle. When she flipped it, they said, according to the way it looked and the damage that was done, she might have flipped it maybe 7 or 8 times, maybe more. That we never found that out. Anyway, luckily, I think it was a farmer on the land at that time, or owned the land, found her.
Yeah, thank God.
And they're the ones that called EMS to come out and help her. Well, she was a fatality on the spot. Then when the ambulance got to her, she was also a fatality. I think she died 3 times total. I know that for a fact. As far as where she might have passed away, but just considering this, she was a fatality on the spot when she was found. So they recovered her 3 times. But at that time, I had no idea what was going on. And freaking out as I was just calling and calling and calling. Nobody's answering. It's like usually I get an answer. You know, I'd hear something. So I'm okay. I'm over here watching after my family member, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. It was just nothing. Ringing to nothing. Mind you, back then, even if it was 2006, we had flip phones. Ooh. Yeah. Anyway, we kept calling. I was like, man, I'm worried to death. At that time, me and my family got together, actually. It just wasn't just him. We sat down. We got out what they call the yellow pages. We started looking through the books, finding all the hospitals close to the area that may have somebody en route to the hospital. We got lucky. Found the hospital she was going to. We drove, and we got there a little bit before she arrived, believe it or not. And when we got in...
You beat me there.
We sat down, waiting. Yeah.
I didn't know.
I think for the most part we did. We sat down, went in the waiting room and in the area till they got her sedated. Got back into the room. Man, she was... I ain't gonna lie, she was fucked up. I mean, she got... according to the accident, they found her. One side of her body was on one side of the truck. The other side of the body was found on the other.
You said my feet were through the steering wheel, my head was underneath the passenger seat.
Okay, well, that part, yeah. And anyway, they said, according to what they were saying, is if she wore her seatbelt during this accident, there'd been nothing left, because it literally smashed the truck bed, or not bed, but the cab all the way down to the steering wheel and then some. It was gone. Which, well, we do have photos of it, believe it or not, somewhere. I think it's in one of our fire safety safes somewhere. I don't know. We got photographs of it.
When I find it, I'll bring it out.
When we find some, I'll show them to y'all, let y'all see them. This ain't no joke. Anyway, back at the hospital, we went into the intensive care unit at the time. She was intensive care. She had a breathing tube down in her at the time. no response really at all. She looked up at my dad because me and him was in the room, and she pointed at him, pointing at her mouth because she had that tube down her, and that's pretty much, weirdly enough, she remembers that out of everybody that was there, which I was there too, but still, it's okay.
I just remember your dad saying, "Don't pull it out, honey."
Yeah, don't pull it out. You need that. It's going to help you. About her family arrived a little bit afterwards. Then I think a couple minutes into when they arrived, we had to all leave the room. They're getting ready to insert a lung tube into her, and it was her right lung. They put it in, because she was bleeding internally at the time. According to what they were telling us with X-rays, all that stuff, which is a fact, she broke ribs, broke her collarbone, severed her liver and her spleen.
My
head trauma.
Yeah.
She has some swelling. Apparently not severe swelling, but she did. They got everything hooked up where they were going. I think the next day, because I had to, later on I had to leave. I had to go home. I had to go to work. And the next day she was already in a room already. Because, she got to the point where she could breathe on her own. They pulled the breathing tube out. She still had the lung tube in. But anyway, she was in recovery for, I think, a total of a week.
Yeah.
A week. That's it. With all the things that happened, all the fucking trauma, everything that was done. And I would go to work. I'd get a phone call, it seemed like every 5 or 10 minutes, saying, "Hey, can you come and see me?" I think that was the dope. The morphine they had her on. Dude, they had her on that morphine drip. I know they make adjustments to it to where, that they can't get it all the time, but boy, she was gone. She'd ask me, "Are you coming to see me?" I was like, "Of course I am. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to shoot straight to the hospital. I'll be right there." Anyway, I spent every day that I could with her. And I was there when they pulled the lung tube out. Now that is a horror story.
I remember that.
Yeah. They just check one side, they check another. We're getting ready to pull the lung tube out and yank, which, it's like pulling a Band-Aid off, just get it out and be done with it. Boy, she made noises I ain't never heard that woman make in my life. Anyway, during all that, she spent only a week in the hospital. And they pretty much told her to her face she was a miracle walking because she died 3 times. She shouldn't be alive. And, that there's pretty sure there's plenty of other stories out there like that people have shared and everything like that. Miracles do happen, and I really believe in it. And I'm telling you, it was something else. It really opened my eyes to a lot out there, and there she is, still standing to this day, which she still lives with some of the problems, the pain from, believe it or not, she still hurts from all that. And that was back in 2006. Believe it or not, that's a good while back now.
I only remember 2 things out of the whole week. Your dad telling me not to pull the breathing tube out, and me falling in the shower.
Yeah. I tried to get her in the shower, but she was a hard-headed woman anyway, still is. She wanted to get in the shower, so I tried to help her, get her in there. I says, "Woman, you do realize if you fall, they're going to keep you in this hospital again until, that, but, you can't do that." Well, lo and behold, she tried. She got done with the shower, she stepped out, guess what? Flip it, boom, boom. She fucking fell. She looks at me right in my face, "You better not say a fucking word." I'm like, okay. We got her up. I got her up, sat her on the bed because she did not want to be there, man. And but after that, though, it took still a little while of the healing and recovery because, boy, it was rough. It was a rough ride. And I thought I'd spend this night, telling you that story because, not all stories have to be about you doing dumb shit or getting messed up with your friends. This can be a life story that could change your life forever. And
drink coffee before you take a long road trip after you work.
Yeah, make sure you get sleep. Always remember, it's very important. when you're driving. It is. And I'm not trying to be telling people what to do. You know what to do, you know. But anyway, we're going to have more stories coming up. And hopefully y'all with us hearing them. I'm pretty sure you got a lot more better things to do out there and watch us talk about stories. But we really do appreciate y'all, you know, the people that do watch. Anyway, well, y'all have so like, subscribe. You know who we are, or if you don't, you can figure it out. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Stay safe.